Hi everyone, this is Professor Kettler. I'm shooting this quick video so that way you can get an overview of this course and be able to locate the essential information that you need to be successful in the course. And this can also kind of be a refresher for those of you that may not be familiar with CCCs online or D2L as kind of like a learning management system is what we utilize. So when you log in, the very first thing you're going to see is the class announcements. And in order to see like the first three, you'll just scroll down. There's not that many in there right now because this is the beginning of the course. So you have my instructor information and then the welcome. And then this is really important. You'll want to go to show all announcements because depending on the size of the announcement, it may not show you everything that you need to see. So you will go to this button right here and click show all announcements. And now it takes you to every announcement that has been posted. Some people like to see it in kind of ascending order. So like newest to oldest, and then other people like to be able to review the oldest. If you want to change how you view this, you just go to start date and click this button. And now it shows you the newest one. So you can just go back and forth. The announcements are really important because I post guidelines of how to do your assignments, exactly what I'm looking for, the expectations, how to do the lab reports, what to expect on your quizzes, on your midterm, and all that stuff. So you should be checking the announcements every 1 to 2 days to make sure you don't miss anything. Now, if you go to the course homepage, it will take you back to the main page. If you click on content, you can see all of your modules, your labs, your eText, all this good stuff. When you first log in, you want to go to the Start Here page and go through all of this wonderful checklist. It tells you how to set up your D2L email, which you need desperately because that is the only way I can communicate with you. So make sure that you set this up and you check it one to 2 days, every 1 to 2 days. This kind of gives you, if you haven't ever navigated D2L, you can look at this, but that's also the purpose of this video that I'm making right now. Something new that we're offering is tutoring for this course. So if you need help, you can always go to the academic support services and they can help you out with that. After you go through this, you're going to want to go to the syllabus page. This has information about what this course is, how it runs, course materials. You do need a lab kit for this course. And this, whenever you first log in, it will ask you for an address. You need to go ahead and give it that because that is where your lab kit will be mailed to. And you can expect to get that kit about 10 days after the drop date. They're not even ordered until after the drop date. So don't stress about lab 1 and lab 2. They do not need a lab kit. So you should get your lab kit in time for the lab that needs it. If you want to look at how things are graded in this course, you can go here to grading and evaluation. If you want to look at the course rubrics, that's listed here. This is how I grade you. It's kind of like a checklist. I always tell students you should have that rubric open whenever you are doing your assignment, so that way you can go through it and say, okay, I've hit all these required elements. And then, of course, the course schedule is super important. I strongly recommend that you either print this or you get a planner and write all these dates in here because this is basically when things are due and what is due. So you can see that the entire course schedule is outlined and mapped, and all the due dates are broken down, and what you need and we'll be doing for each module is listed here. Going back to the content. So that's your main kind of documents that will help you in this course. The third thing that you'll want to go and look at is your Pearson eText. Now, if you want to get into the book, it's at this link right here. So we'll go ahead and go in there. It does sometimes take a while to come up. If it does not load, then you'll want to go ahead and exit out of it and then wait like 30 seconds and try again. I'm not sure why it's so slow, but it can be really slow. So what you should land on is the welcome page, and you can go to the menu, and what you'll be able to do is go right over here to whatever chapters you want to review. So if we're starting off with chapter 1, you'll just click on it and it will take you to the subheadings and what you need to read. Now, every chapter has a quiz associated with it that you need to take. The quizzes are 15 questions for each chapter. So your chapter 1 and chapter 2 is due, I think, by February 16th. And so you'll need to take those quizzes by that time. I highly recommend that you take the quiz immediately after reading the chapter if you can, because there are certain dates for it. So to access those quizzes, we're going to go back to the table of contents, back to the Pearson. You should be able to go to this course homepage, and that should give you when your quizzes are due, what quizzes you need to take. So yeah, so you can go through all this if you want to, just to kind of explore it. But what the main thing you need to look at is the due next. So it says, hey, you've got to do quiz 1. It's due in 24 days. And then you can cycle through it, right, and look at. So whenever it says not available, it means it hasn't opened yet. I will give you the dates in the class announcements of when they're open. Now, if you want to look at all assignments, you can click here. And it will list to you, okay, quiz. So you can see quiz 1 and quiz 2, they're available on the 21st. So they're already available. The quiz 3 through 7, that's not going to be open until February 17th. And then these are the days that it's due. So that's how you access your quizzes. So going back to the contents, table of contents. Your lab manual, that just kind of talks to you about what you need to be able to find for your labs. This was something that used to be really simple to use, and now it's complicated. So I would not recommend using this to get your lab manual information. Instead, what I have done for you is in the module itself, so we'll go to module 1, you have the labs right here. So you'll have kind of like an introduction to the module, what activities you need to do, an exploration that you have to do, and then it'll take you to the discussions and then to the labs. And then you can also access your quizzes here as well. So you don't have to go through like the eText link that I just showed you. You can just go right here. So when you click on the labs, it will tell you how many days it takes to complete. And then you'll go to each one and it will tell you right here. So this is where you need to go to get the lab manual. So you'll have all your materials that you need, and then it says go to the following link. So what I have done is I have combined those instructions and lab report for you. And what you'll do is you'll click on it and you'll get a zip file. You'll need to download that zip file and then open it. So you can see what's inside of it. So the lab report is listed there and your instructions are listed there. This is what I recommend you use instead of trying to figure out the lab manual part, is to just go ahead and download this and then use this to help you. Going back to the module. So that should help you out with that. Discussions you can either access here, or if you want to bypass that, you can just click on the discussions link at the top and this will show you all the discussions for the entire course. So you can see I've already posted an introduction discussion. So if you want to look through and see what all you're going to be doing with these discussions, you can just click on that discussion button at the top. If you want to see all of your assignments that will be due, you just click on this assignment tab, and it will tell you basically the labs that are due and when they are due. And then finally, quizzes. That's not going to be listed here because your quizzes are through your eText. So if you need to access those quizzes, you'll either go to that link that I showed you here, or you'll go to the module chapter reading quizzes and see it'll take you right to it. So you don't have to worry about that. Last thing is if you need to look at your grades, you can always click on grades, and you'll be able to see how many points you got, what percentage grade, and then in the assessment column, if I have left you any kind of feedback, this is where you'll read the feedback. Sometimes they leave feedback inside of the rubrics, so we can go and look at just what a rubric looks like. So we'll look at a lab rubric. Should be listed here. Yeah. And so you can see how this is kind of like a checklist, because this is how many points you get for, the purpose, how many points you get for the hypothesis, data table, all that good stuff. So that's why I say it's best to have this open while you're completing your lab report, so that way you know the areas that you have hit on. And a lot of times I can leave feedback inside the rubric itself. So that way, so let's say like you missed the purpose, so I might leave feedback here and say, hey, your purpose is missing from this lab report. All right, so I think that pretty much covers everything. You can always, if you need to email me, go to the class list, and my email is listed there. I think you can see everyone else too, but yeah, so you can just go to me, and you can just say, hey, I need to talk to her. So you just say, send an internal message, and you can email me that way, and I'll be alerted. One last thing, I'm going to go ahead and log in as a professor, so that way you can see what I mean about the lab kits. So, lab kit. This information is going to come out later in the announcements. That's why it wasn't posted there. So, like I said, whenever you first sign into the course, there's a pop-up. Put your email or put your mailing address in there. It's got to be a street address, not a PO box, and it's not ordered until after the drop date. Okay, so don't freak out if you don't get it right away, because it's going to take a little while, because the drop date is February 6th, and then you probably won't even get it until 8 to 10 days afterwards. Okay, so I may have to mess around with the due dates for the third lab. We'll just have to wait and see, depending on when everybody gets them. So there you go. Hopefully this helps you. You can always email me with any questions that you have, any concerns. I respond to emails typically within 12 to 24 hours, longer if it's on the weekends. If there is anything you need, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks.